Hi guys, so today we're going to be playing the sequel to A Tavern at Night. It's called A Tavern at Night Firelight. And in this one, I guess we decide to travel with the orc we met in the first game. So let's see what it's all about. Hail and well met, stranger. What is your name? Oh, here we go again. We're going to stick with the one we used last time, Callie. Pronouns. She, her. Phew. You sink down into the tall grass, grateful to give your legs a break. You've been walking all day. Azram keeps a murderous pace, and despite what he calls incessant whining and what you call common sense, he's only marginally adjusted his stride to yours. At least the weather's been nice. As if to make up for it, ever since your first encounter with the tall mercenary during a particular stormy night, the sky has remained a friendly blue. Now summer tucks the sun away in red golden hues, and for a few moments the last rays drape the world in a warm yellow glow that softens even the sharp edge of Azram's Zyhander. I am not sure how to pronounce that. And although Azram rolls his eyes when you point out the pretty sunset, you know he likes them too, because he allows the two of you a break. You catch your breath, and him nonchalantly adjusting his pack on his back every time you do. You kick off your boots, wipe the dry crust of mud coating the sides, and wiggle your toes. Nice weather or no, you have more blisters than you'd like. Ow. You wince when you inspect the angry red skin, and breathe a few curses under your breath when your skin chafes like the seven hells. Everything all right? Azram looks back at you over his shoulder from his attempt at a campfire. Let's go with the second one. Totally fine, only dying a little bit. Azram huffs, and you hear the sound of a match striking a tinderbox, followed by the familiar crackle of a campfire. Only a little bit? That's fine then. Azram crouches next to you, picks up one of your feet, and drapes it over his thigh. One hand holds you steady, huge meaty paws resting on your shin, while the other reaches for a pouch at his side. He tisks as he inspects the blister. Your boots weren't made for walking, that's sure. If I agree, will you carry me the rest of the way? Absolutely not. The hand on your leg squeezes it in warning, but if there's anything you've learned from traveling with Azram for 2 weeks, it's that despite all his complaining, he never actually gets angry with you for poking and prodding him. But if you agree I'm right, I will give you some of the wild witch's wondrous. Ow, I can't talk this morning. But if you agree I'm right, I will give you some of the wild witch's wondrous wellness cream. Okay, try saying that 5 times fast. He holds up the tin, a dry, taunting smile on his lips. The campfire gleams off its edges when he shakes it mockingly. I believe that's what we call coercion, sir. What's that? You'd rather go without? O great Azram, conqueror of worlds, your eyes see all and your lips only speak the truth. Go on. My boots suck ass big time, and I want the salve, pretty please. Azram huffs a chuckle, and then he surprises you when he doesn't throw the tin at you like he's done every other night, but instead opens it, dabs some of the salve on his fingertips, and very gently rubs it on your blisters. Oh. Feel better? Yes, thanks. You watch him tend to your feet in silence for a little while. He doesn't even look grossed out, but then he said he had his fair share of gruesome sights during his time as a merc. You'd hope your feet would ranks somewhere low on that list. Along with the growing dark of night, a small wave of disappointment washes over you. This will be the last time Azrim will tease you about your boots. The last time he'll pretend to cajole you into lending you his salve. Oh, let's see. After meeting at the tavern, you and Azrim spent the night together in more ways than one. You didn't feel ready to be intimate with. You were interested in physical. Let's go with the first one. Because, to say you enjoyed yourself would be an understatement, but for whatever reason, it hasn't happened again ever since. And you're content to things to remain the way they are, you wish it would happen again. Oh, we totally wish it would happen again. Maybe it's just you, but what you shared with Azrim felt like more than just a way to satisfy your physical desires. You don't want the time you spent together to be a one-off. Tonight will be your last opportunity to change that. Once your feet are properly salved up and wrapped with the clean bandages, Azrim lets go of your leg, wipes his hand on his trousers, and turns around to rummage around in his pack. Hungry yet? Starving. What's for dinner? Wait, no, let me guess. You lean back, one arm behind you to support your weight, the other raised up to tap your chin in mock thought. 2 days ago it was bean stew. Yesterday it was bean stew. Wait, could it be... Is today also bean stew? Azrim gets you a flat look while he cracks open a can of what is in fact bean stew. Don't you like it? You're welcome to cook any time. And give up your gourmet meals? Never. Whoever said that hunger is the best sauce hasn't been served mushy bean stew for 6 days in a row. Still, you're not ungrateful. And you take your steaming bowl from Azrim with soft hand. Hold on. Whoever said that hunger is the best sauce hasn't been served mushy bean stew for 6 days in a row. Still, you're not ungrateful, and you take your steaming bowl from Azrim with a soft thanks. The meal is enjoyed in relative silence. The crackle and snap from the firelight The meal is enjoyed in relative silence. The crackle and snap from the campfire is soothing, as is the warming stew in your stomach. The sky has grown dark now, and it is a clear night. The stars wink down at you from far above at intervals. After you've washed up, you wrap yourself in your bedroll while Azrim pokes at the fire, a familiar little ritual that has come to both of you so naturally you could have been on the road together for years. I'll take first watch, you get some rest. So he says, but you're far from tired. You shuffle onto your back as you watch the night sky instead, and apparently Azrim has the same idea, because a moment later he lies down beside you. If you see a falling star, I call dibs. Azrim snorts a laugh. That's how dibs works these days? What do you even need it for? To make a wish on? What else would I do with it? Don't tell me you've never wished on a star before. Can't sit around and wait for a star to give me what I want. What's your wish then? Oh, we're going with the second one. I wish you would be happy for the rest of your life. Oh. It's quiet for a beat. When Azrim speaks, his voice is very soft. Well, aren't you sweet? Guess I'll have to try hard to make it come true. You snuggle deeper into your bedroll, curling closer to the warmth of the campfire. Azrim? Tell me a bedtime story. Azrim snorts. Who was the one complaining their feet hurt and they were tired all day? Come on, else I won't be able to fall asleep. Please? Gods. Once upon a time there was a mercenary who made the mistake of letting the biggest pain in the arse in the world hang along with him. The end. That's so rude. I hope you wake up with ants in your bedroll. Think they bite harder than you? You want to find out, big guy? Your threat is entirely idle. The only thing that could get you to leave the comfort of your bedroll is the end of the world, and even that is a solid maybe. Where was all this energy 4 hours ago? Could have carried my pack for me. And you think I would have kept up with you, do you? I'm struggling as it is. That's because you're lacking stamina. I told you, if you joined me during my morning exercises. I don't have a death wish, thank you. And I'm struggling because your legs are stupid long, not because I'm out of shape. You keep telling yourself that short stuff. Maybe I will, buttface. Azram smothers a laugh from behind his hand and drags it over his face before resting it on his head. He sounds exasperated, but you catch the note of amusement in his voice. You're so childish, dragging me down to your level. Maybe that's what you need, taken down a peg or two. Azram turns back to watching the stars with a derisive snort. Somewhere in the distance, an owl lets out a soft hoot and another answers. Hey, let's play a game. Azram groans. More games? Do you not tire of them? Well, no, but that's not the point. It's our last night together. There's a beat where that fact hangs heavily in the air. Of course you've spoken about it before. Adam said in no uncertain terms that he'd accompany you until your destination. But after you've reached Willow's End, you'll part ways again. Azram said something about having to take care of business on his end, whatever that means. All right, not like there's any stopping you anyway. Fine, no games. I have something I think you'll like better. You wriggle your arms free of your bedroll and reach into your pack. You have more than one set of cards, and you're nothing if a little flexible. After maneuvering yourself into a comfortable position, you shuffle the deck with nimble fingers and smile as Azram over the of the cards. Do you know Fortune's Path? No, that's supposed to be a card game? Not a game. It's a way to tell someone's fortune. I shuffle the cards, you pick the past, present, or future, and then I read you the spread of 3. Thought you said no games. Hey, fortune cards aren't games. People pay good money to be read their fortunes. All right, let's hear it then. After giving Azram one last indignant huff, you separate your stack into 3 neat little piles and place them down gently in the grass. So which one do you want to hear about? Ugh, I don't really know anything about fortune cards. How about you choose for me? Sure, client is king after all. So I get my money back if I don't like what my fortune is? Those ants in your bedroll don't have to show up of their own volition. That's all I'll say. Let's go with the middle one. Azram gives you a wry smile. Aren't I in the present right now? What's this card going to tell me, that I'm breathing wrong? Entirely wrong, I'm afraid. Maybe close your mouth and stop talking. That would help. Azram rolls his eyes, but does as he's told and shuts up. Let's see. The present, 5 of stars. On the card is a lone figure reaching out to the stars in the sky. Maybe if they catch their light, the long, dark night will finally break into a dawn of new beginnings. So is this is this one good or bad? There's no good or bad with fortune cards. But this one's pretty hopeful overall, I'd say. A peaceful sort of transition into something new. The 5 and the 5 of stars stand for the 5 fingers of the hand, meaning it's about connection or wishing for a connection or longing in general. You think longing is hopeful? You don't think so? You get to look forward to whatever yet to come. You know, the future is at your fingertips. I think I'm a little too old to be looking toward a hopeful future. Azram voices a dry grumble, as if to scoff both at the fortune you're reading him and at himself. If you knew him a little better, you'd see the hesitance lining his words also. A repressed wish to be proven wrong. There has to be something you want, though, right? What do you wish for most in the world? What I wish for most? You can see the answers on Azram's face before he says it by the quirk of his lips. To be left alone and finally get some sleep would sure be nice. Yeah, you just don't want to admit you're going to miss me. Maybe just a little. But what I want most? Selfish things. Oh, come on, you're not going to tell me? I don't mind if you're a little selfish. A pause. For a moment, Azram's eyes flicker to your lips, but despite the campfire, it's too dark to be really sure. How about this? If you guess right, I'll tell you. Now who's the one that wants to play games? Fine. I think what you want most is... Let's get a little forward here. A kiss. Look at his face. It's so cute. Well, did I get it right? What? No, you didn't. Then why won't he look at you, Is that a blush you see? Wait. But did I? Do you want a kiss? No, stop asking. You just surprised me. You give Azram a heavy, accusing stare that he refuses to meet. Suspicious behavior, that, but you let it slide this time. Alright, ready for the next? Sure. Let's go for the... I guess this would be the past, right? Azram tisks. Past? Why'd I need a card to tell me about about the past? Haven't I already lived it? Hush, don't mock the powers that be. So your past starts off with the scabbard. You flip the card to show him. On it, there is a hand holding a great sword upright. The blood drips off the metal onto the ground, onto the skin. Its dark sheen contrasts against the hazy smoke drifting up in the background. You sure this one isn't called the Blade? 'Cause that's all I see. Cards aren't always that literal. Sometimes it's a metaphor. Without a scabbard, a blade runs wild, you see. It's about its absence. This card represents aimlessness, bloodthirsty contention, self-inflicted harm, being without a home or a cause. Azram lets out a soft hum. His eyes trained on the card in your hand. His expression doesn't give away much, but you wonder if he recognized himself in its description. So maybe you went around and fought a lot of people for no real good reason. Maybe you fought yourself, or you made decisions that didn't really benefit you in the long run. Maybe violence was the only way you could respond to the world around you. Can't say that sounds unfamiliar. Done a lot of bad things. It all seemed to matter so much at the time, but now, I don't know. You watch Azram lose himself in thought. A cricket chirps low in the grass near you. If you could have a do-over of something you've done in your past, what would it be? I only get one? Yes. I know you dare say you wish you hadn't met me. Azram chuckles, eyes softening. Didn't realize this was a game with terms and conditions. I told you this isn't a game. I guess. I wish I'd been kinder to my mentor. Azram's eyes flick down at the card in your hand again. My sins are my own, but they caught the brunt of my anger. Don't know why they bothered with me at a certain point. More trouble than I was worth, really. Let's go with the middle one. Maybe they saw something of themselves in you. Maybe. Hard to imagine them like how I used to be, though. People change all the time. I bet you that you're not like how you were a year ago, even now. Maybe so. That's a nice thought, if it's true. Although who knows, maybe I changed for the worse, not the better. You mull those words over as you place the scabbard back on the pile. You give Azram a half smile as your hand hovers over the three stack. That's 2 down. The future, huh? And what's the glass orb say? That I'm going to see a tree while I'm walking on the road? Let's see. Oh yes, there it is, clear as day. It predicts that you might get a smack to your face if you keep being so rude. Azram lets out an ungraceful snort and rolls his eyes. He waves one hand in a go-on-then manner. The crossroads. Pretty straightforward, this one. You're at a point in your life where you can take things in a new direction, but you haven't decided yet. Right now is where you're weighing the scales, maybe feeling some doubt. This card also goes by the fates in some circles. Azram makes a face. Fate. You know I don't believe in that. All right. No fateful encounters for you. Have a way at your choose your own adventure instead. Oh, I like that. Choose my own adventure. Well, what does the card say? What should I do? Do I go left or right? Azram taps the card right on the spot where the road splits. That'll be 5 coins. The gold coins, thank you. Hold on. You hold out your open palm, raising your brows expectantly. There's a beat where you think you fooled him, but then he laughs. Know your tells by now, sweetheart. Can't fool me. Ugh, whatever. Stop looking so smug. If we were strangers, I'd have your pocket later in no time. Just don't quit your day job. So, are you going to tell me which way to go? Well, no. That's up to you. This is your adventure, remember? Thought the point was to tell me my future. I thought you didn't like your fate being predetermined. If you're the oracle, it's a different story. In that case... Oh, come on, we gotta go with the second one. Azram, fool in love? No, that's something I'd love to see. A bit of cliche, don't you think? Not at all. Submitting to some lovelorn yearning builds character. Azram laughs low and soft. No, I'm meant to suffer then. A blessing turned curse. How kind of you. You laugh too as you place the crossroads back into your stack. You have to admit, Azram is right. Love can be both a blessing and a curse. With that, you place the final card back on the stack. Well, that's the last of it, so let's put it all together now. There might have been times in your past where you felt angry and lost, at the world or at yourself, and where violence was the easiest answer. Right now you're transitioning peacefully into a new phase of your life, where you might feel the desire to connect to something new. Soon you'll find yourself having to choose between 2 opportunities. Both will lead you to a new part of your life, but you might feel doubt about making the right choice. That's it? What do you think? Azram listens to you with a small smile and watches you carefully as you put your cards away. Well, it was new. Never got my fortune read before. Didn't know cards could guess at my past like that. Not sure I like how close it got. Sometimes it's eerie how accurate they are, huh? You lie back down and stifle a yawn. You're finally starting to feel drowsy, but you're also a little cold. While summer days can be blazing hot, the nights turn cool, and the embers of the dying fire aren't going to be doing enough to chase away the chill. You bury your nose deeper into your bedroll, suppressing a shiver. Cold. You let out a soft and curl closer to the campfire. Come here. Azram holds out one arm and pats his chest with his free hand. It takes a second to dawn on you, but he's inviting you to snuggle. Really? Only if you want. Oh, absolutely. You wriggle closer and cuddle right up to his side. Azrim's arms wrap around your shoulders when you settle, a protective layer between you and the rest of the world. You sigh in utter bliss. It is absolutely ridiculous how warm he is. Must be a total nightmare for him during the day when the sun's out, yet you've never heard him complain. Better? So much. You tentatively sneak your own arm across Azrim's chest, and you receive a gentle squeeze in response. Azrim's heart beats steady under your palm, its rhythm accompanied by the soft brush of his thumb over your shoulder. Always knew you were a cuddler. Not much else I can be when you're sticking to my side like a leech. You give his chest a gentle slap in protest. How dare you? You wish leeches were as cute as me. Azrim mocks squint at you, letting his eyes trail over your features. Dunno, have to think about that one. You're so mean. Guts. Are you trying to make me leave? Azrim's arm tighten around you immediately to prevent any thought of escaping, and you laugh. The sound makes Azrim huff a laugh as well. Stupid. Idiot. Azrim's eyes glint in the dark. For some people, that'll have been the very last thing they saw before their utter demise. But for you, it means you'll sleep without worry or fear. It's hard to look away. When the moment lasts longer than intended, Azrim's gaze grows serious and thoughtful. There's a hint of regret there, too, almost like you're not the only one who's struggling with the thoughts of parting ways. You ride the small wave of courage that surges through you before you can change your mind. Azrim, can I kiss you? Azrim's eyes grow wide, and you feel the thump of his heartbeat stutter erratically under your palm. Kiss me? Only if you want. You echo his early statement, and through his bewilderment, a smile breaks out on Azrim's face. Yes, of course. I would have said I thought you might not. You cut off any lingering doubts by pressing your lips against his. It's the correct response. Azrim sighs in relief and melts into you without further protest. It's been long enough since your first night together that it feels new all over again, and when the familiar sound of a low groan in Azrim's throat races your ears, a hot flush spikes through you. Though Azrim starts off gentle, trying to kiss you around his protruding tusks, there's no chance of hurting you. It doesn't take all that long for him to be thrown off kilter. You're having a hard time pretending at restraint too, and fished your hand in the short hair at the nape of his neck. He breaks off the kiss, then, out of breath, and isn't that a sight? The big scary merc gasping for air because of a few kisses, and presses his forehead against yours in an obvious attempt at self-control. You're still squeezed flush against him, though your bedroll is now no longer a cozy blanket, and more like an annoying, sweaty cage keeping you from feeling all of him properly. Been thinking about doing that for a while. Then hurry up and do it again. Azrim closes his eyes and lets out a rough laugh, squeezing you into a tight hug. You half wriggle, half kick yourself free of your bedroll and curl up in the safety of his arms. The desire thrumming in your veins has far from settled down, but you're happy to draw out tonight as long as you reasonably can. After coaxing you to drape yourself over his chest, Azrim catches you in another lingering kiss, hands running up and down your sides. Might not be enough. What is? Having you, just for tonight. Should have said something sooner. You sigh in agreement and lose yourself for a moment in the crook of his neck, planting kisses and biting at his skin that gets Azrim to make increasingly interesting hitching noises. Then stay with me a little longer. Silence. When you push yourself up a little higher and look in the eyes, you find him looking at you like you've grown wings in a halo. You won't mind. You press a kiss against the jagged scar that rises up from his lips to his cheek, and Azram flushes again. Why would I mind? I like you. I like your company. All right then, brace. Without another warning, Azram flips you over on your back and tugs at your trousers, making his intent for the rest of the night clear as day. You shimmy your hips in to help, excitement fluttering in your stomach. Not just with the promise of pleasure, but also with the knowledge that tonight won't be the end after all. There's things to talk about, itineraries to discuss, but later. Right now you're too distracted by rough roaming hands sliding over your bare skin with a new edge of sweetness to your previous intimacy. You tumble into the night together, hushed laughter over the quiet crackle of firelight, feeling warm in more ways than one. Okay. Close the door ending. So that's the end of Firelight. That was cute. Also, I really liked it. Bit more romance in this one than the other one. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I hope you'll come back and see what else I have in store. So yeah. All right. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.